One of the best Pokemon Go events is once again back into the game, and we're here to talk about it. And obviously the new event that we're here to talk about is no other than Taken Over. Adventure Week Taken Over, to be more precise, which is going to be happening from August 8th, 12 a.m. all the way to August 12th at 11:59 p.m. Obviously, it comes with lots of awesome bonuses, some new Shadow Pokemon, and a new Shadow, Giovanni Pokémon as well, which is exactly where we're going to start things off. That new Pokemon is going to be Cresselia, I'm pretty sure it's one of the two, but it's definitely one that I personally wasn't really expecting us to get. I'm not really, I know what it was that I was expecting to get. Rayquaza, that was the one, since we got Kyogre and Groudon before, but I guess Cresselia it is. It can't be shiny, obviously. We're going to be able to claim this Giovanni research up until that last day of the season, which is going to be September 3rd, by the looks of it, at 9:59 a.m. Which, obviously after that at 10 a.m. a new season should start, and that's going to be that and all fun. So, obviously we're going to get a new special research with Giovanni to defeat a lot of rocket grunts, rocket leaders, and then Giovanni itself with a free rocket radar. And, by defeating Giovanni, we're going to get ourselves shiny Cresselia, or not shiny, Shadow. Well, it's going to be shiny at some point, but not this time around. Cresselia, it's pretty good in what it takes to PvP, but due to its bulkiness, which is something that you end up not getting out of a Shadow Pokemon. Once again, you already know me by that, I guess. I'm not really the biggest PvP guy, so I'm not really going to get into deep with the PvP usage of Cresselia. But the Shadow form might have some playability in what it takes to that and what it takes to PvE. I don't think it's going to change much in that regard. Then again, moving on with the event, or else we're just going to be on the Cresselia part forever. Which Pokemon are we getting for the Shadow Raid Weekend? You thought it was Mewtwo? You thought it was something cool? Well, it is cool if you really like Shadow Lugia, but it's not really the coolest thing in the world. I don't have the shiny, so neither version of it, nor the regular one, nor the Shadow one, so I guess I can just kill two birds with one stone. But the point is, it's Shadow Lugia. We're going to be getting Shadow Lugia for the Shadow Raid Weekend, which is going to be happening from August 10 to August 11. It's going to be Shadow Lugia. Obviously, during this weekend, Shadow Suicune is not going to have any space to join any sort of 5-star Shadow raids, so it's going to be an off weekend for Suicune. Awesome, I guess. It's been working hard. Not really, but 5-star Shadow Raids is going to be hosting Lugia only during that weekend. So if you're still missing Shadow Lugia, that's Shadow Lugian, or even its Shadow Shiny version, that's going to be our best chance to get it. But Lugia itself, it doesn't really have a lot of playability in game, neither in PvP or PvE. So it's going to be one for the decks if you do care about that yourself. Then moving on with the event bonuses, which, if you've been playing the game for a while, it's not really going to be anything new for you, but still, for the new people out there, because I know there are some of you watching. But anyway, Team Go Rocket grunts will be appearing more frequently in the wild. Usually, those show up every 6 hours or so. With this bonus, I don't want to say every 2 hours, but I guess it's something around those lines, right? And they're going to be pretty much appearing all over the Pokestops and stuff like that, not only in balloons, but there's going to be a lot of Team Go Rocket grunts for us to fight against, which is going to mean faster Rocket Raiders, which is going to mean more leaders, and that's going to be a lot of chances for shiny Shadow Pokemons from leaders. And not only that, grunts do have those as well, but there's going to be a lot of that going on, so definitely the best time of the year, or I think this happens every 3 months or so, but one of the best times of the year for us to farm a lot of Shadow Pokemons, because there are some really good ones out there for PvP usage, as we're going to see in just a few more details here related with the event. But yeah, keep an eye out for those. And the second bonus is the fact that we can actually, with Charge TMs solely, remove the move Frustration out of a regular Shadow Pokemon. So, you know, like that Frustration move, which is really frustrating to have, that we can't really remove it at like any given time other than, well, during this taken over. So just using a Charge TM on any Pokemon that might have the move Frustration will remove it out of your Pokemon, and then you can just use more Charge TMs to get yourself the Charge Desire move that you want to have on your Pokemon, making it a whole lot more usable for both PvE, PvP, whatever it is that you might want to use that Pokemon for. So definitely keep an eye out for that. What I'm going to recommend is pretty much what I usually do myself, is just have a tag with all of the Pokemons that you want to get the move Frustration removed out of, and just throw all your Pokemons in there. Just get a tag and just throw your Pokemons in there. You can still use, you know, search tags in your Pokemon storage. Just use @Frustration and you'll get all of the Pokemons that have the charged attack Frustration listed, but that's you know, it's not going to be as selective. So I definitely recommend the creation of a tag. Put your Pokemons that you want to get with 100% certainty you want to get the move Frustration removed out of, and just go from there. Then moving on with new Shadow Pokemons that are going to be debuting during this, well, Team Go Rocket taking over. We're going to get obviously the leaders, Sierra Cliff and Arlo, using new Pokemons, but not only that, there's going to be a few debuts into the Shadow line per se. So we're going to get Timber, Tirtuga, and Archon as 3 new debuts. I'm not really sure about Tirtuga or Archon usability after they become Shadow Pokemons, but as for Timber, it's a really solid fighting type attacker, not the best, you know, by miles, but it's a really decent Pokemon, and it's somewhat easy to farm. Well, it's not really showing up as often anymore, but it already had a community day and stuff like that, so it's like a pretty good and easy Pokemon, somewhat to farm the candies for. It's really bulky. It's free to evolve if you trade it with somebody else, which is not going to be the case with the Shadow version of it. But yeah, so having Timber as a shiny Pokemon, evolving it all the way into Conkeldurr, especially if you have a really good one, it's going to have some potential, since Conkeldurr itself ranks not too far away from Shadow Machamp and Shadow Hariyama, which are, like, you know, 2 of the best, easiest Pokemons per se to get on a regular basis, not counting like the legendary Pokemons and so on. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of potential for Timber, and then, well, obviously the leaders are going to have like some new Pokemon, so some new shinies might be introduced, or, you know, maybe we'll just get the same Pokemon as we previously did in the past, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. It was kind of like an off-season for leaders this past one, but I guess we'll have to wait and see what the new Pokemons are that we're going to get. Then moving on into Shadow Raids, we're going to have a rotation of both 1 and 3-star raids with some cool Pokemons in there. For 1-stars, we're going to have Mareep, Wooper, Cranidos, and Sheldon. Out of these 4, there are 2 that do get my attention, which are Mareep, which we can, well, purify into a Hundo if we do get the chance, and get a Hundo Ampharos, which we can Mega Evolve, which, well, it's not necessarily the best Mega Pokemon to evolve, but it can become a Dragon and Electric type. I mean, boosting candies and XP for, you know, for our gameplay and for those types of Pokemons as well. And, well, there's Cranidos too, which is the best Pokemon to have as a rock-type attacker in PvE, just, you know, behind Mega Diancie. It's a crazy DPSer. Well, not Cranidos, but obviously Rampardos, its evolution. So definitely one of the amazingest Pokemon to have. Obviously, it's going to be 1-stars. I wouldn't really say just, you know, spam all of the passes you have on these, because those are going to be raids. Even though the the Ivy floor is going to be a little bit higher than just probably getting them out of the grunts. I mean, you're still going to be spending passes on those, but Creditos is pretty cool. Then moving on into 3 stars, it's not really going to be as great, but we're going to get Nuzleaf, Manectric, and Vibrava. Well, we just got ourselves Trapinch with Sierra, I think it was, for like almost 3 months now or something like that, so it's not really going to be all that exciting to get a Vibrava in 3-star raids, but there's Manectric, which can also be a Mega, not as a Shadow, but if you purify it, because on its own, like, you know, Manectric is not really one of the best Pokemons in the world, but by purifying it, it can, and Mega Evolving it, it can actually get to be a really, really good Pokemon in what it takes to DPS, one of the best electric type attackers in the game. So yeah, there's that. Those are still going to be in raids. I wouldn't really, you know, recommend spending a whole lot of passes, if any at all. Just try to take advantage of all of the grunts that we're going to have spawning with the extra balloons and stuff. But it's going to be up to you. Those are like my best recommendations if you do decide to spend some passes on. Those are the 3 that I'd keep an eye out for. Then moving on to field research tasks, those are going to be giving us away mysterious components in order to get ourselves faster radars, charge TMs and fast TMs, which, well, I mean, if you do have a Pokeball Go Plus or something like that, you should be stacked upon these. Or if you just, you know, do a lot of side quests like routes and stuff like that, there's going to be a lot of these stacked up in your bag. But mysterious components for the radars and for the possible shinies from the leaders, those are going to be really, really cool. So definitely keep an eye out for those field research task rewards. And I guess we're getting to the end here, but well, as per usual, the Pokestop showcases, which are going to be featuring different event-themed Pokemon, those are always going to be really cool in order for us to work towards the well, the Pokestop showcase medal, which requires us to win 100 of them, which is crazy. So yeah, if you do have some really nice Pokemons that are going to allow you to win any of these, there's going to be that. And well, last but not least, and as per usual, there's going to be web store bundles, which are apparently going to include Rocket Raiders, passes, and yada 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 yada. So yeah, I guess that pretty much is going to be covering the event from here. Yeah, whenever it gets to the end of the video, I never really know how to finish, how to end it, how to yada yada, but it's a great event. Timber is going to be a really, really great addition. Keep an eye out for the new shinies that the leaders are going to have. And as for Shadow Lugia, I mean, try to get a few raids out, but do keep in mind that that guy is so bulky. But yeah, with that said, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for watching the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And up until next time, and as per usual, stay awesome, stay safe, stay scrubbity, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.